what the heck are these great big concrete structures doing in a seaside resort like Studland? Let's find out. The Germans call these things Dragenziner. The British call them humps or pimples. I know them, and you may know them as dragon's teeth. Dragon's teeth are actually a defensive fortification as such. They're basically concrete structures to try and keep armoured vehicles like tanks and infantry vehicles from getting through a certain position. These dragon teeth are normally 3 to 4 foot in height, which is roughly 90 to something like 120 centimetres. These on Studland beach are different. They're a little bit taller and they're actually individual. And they're basically precast concrete. They've been set in a square shape, and then they've had an additional pyramid on top. But generally what they normally do is, especially abroad in Europe, they're sitting on like a steel trellis, steel frame trellis, and it's about a metre deep, something like that. And then what they do then is they have like a pyramid type shuttering, which is truncated, basically there's no top on it, and concrete's poured inside, vibrated, so in other words it gets rid of all the air bubbles, and it consolidates itself and makes it so that tanks and that can't get across them. The idea of setting these dragon's teeth up, humps or pimples, whichever you call them, wherever you are, is you don't want armoured vehicles coming through this area. You want to slow them down basically, and they're usually set in a way that it guides the armoured vehicle into a certain area called the killing zone. So in other words, it's trying to sort of send them into a part where anti-tank weapons can pick them up and pick them off. Now usually in between these type of dragon's teeth, they normally have anti-personnel mines, so in other words it's going to slow troops down. Now you can't see up there because nothing's left, but they've probably had pillboxes as well, so in other words something comes this way, the troops trying to get through these dragon's teeth, then they're going to be basically picked off by the pillboxes. Back in 1940, between 26th of June and 4th of May, when Operation Dynamo was active, in other words they were getting as many troops off the beaches of Dunkirk as they possibly could, which rescued just over 33,500 troops from the area. Unfortunately, we left a lot of the equipment over there, so we had to figure out what to do in order to defend ourselves, and this is one of the ways to defend yourself, by setting this anti-tank stuff up and try to stop, if any landing craft came on in this area, then it hopefully stopped them from going an advantage, a foothold on the beaches. Now the War Office deemed that Studland Beach was possibly a possible landing area for the German troops after the surrender of France, about 28th of June 1940. So they had to put on certain type of beach defence in. Now this is obviously a beach defence, or just slightly off it. More than likely at the front would have been probably barbed wire, and there'd been mines around it as well, just to stop these troops from landing. Back in 1940, a lot of these dragon's teeth, humps, pimples, were set up along the southern coastline, and then along the eastern coastline of England up into Scotland, and then along the west coastline up to as far as I think it was North Wales, a place called Furbourn, which have quite a few of these anti-tank concrete blocks. So if you ever decide to go up to Furbourn, which is near Barmouth, then you'll find some up there as well. If you ever go to Europe, you'll see a lot of these dragon teeth, usually around fortifications like the Maginot Line, which is French, the Atlantic Wall, which is German, West Wall, which is German as well. Now, the idea is to sink them as deep as you possibly can, probably over a metre, so there's less chance of anybody digging underneath and blowing them up basically. But the Americans found an ingenious way of getting over these, quite simple actually. They had an adapted tank with like a shovel on the front, and all it did was just get some soil, just cover the soil over these anti-tank, these dragon teeth, and they just rode over the top of it. so it wasn't that hard to get across these things. The Swiss army, or I should say Switzerland, was actually neutral in the Second World War, but they had their own fortifications, their own dragon teeth, but they actually called them Toblerones, or I should say it was called the Toblerone line. Now you can still see examples of dragon teeth even today, but we would call them now bollards. So they're 80 years old, these things, and they're still here. And if you look at these on Studland, they're hardly worn at all. I mean, a few's fallen down there, but generally they've been made pretty well. They're reinforced concrete, so that's going to last for absolutely ages. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed the little video on the dragon's teeth and what they're used for, or what they were used for back in the 1940s. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video, so I'll see you again.